friend Roger Christopherson here again with another first listen review. Just got done checking out the brand new album from the one and only King Kobra. It's called We Are Warriors. Now this one is one that I was really looking forward to, especially when I saw who was involved in this one. It's still got Carmen Appice or Appice or however he pronounces his name. I don't remember which one pronounces which one, which way him and his brother argue about that all the time. And I always forget which one's which, or pronunciation that is. I know which brother's which brother. But anyway, he got Carmen, got the original bassist back in the band. He's been back with him for a while now, Johnny Rod. And Paul Sorrentino's been on the last couple. He's also on this one. But new on guitars on this one, we have Carlos Cavazo, and from Copywrite, and he was in Rat for a little bit. And former Dio member Rowan Robertson, and I haven't heard from him. I know he's done some stuff, but I can't remember what any of it is. From Dio, when he did the Lock Up the Wolves, I believe it was. So, and I remember he was like super young on that album, like in his teens or something when he did that album with Dio. So it's cool to see he's still out there doing stuff, or back doing stuff, I guess. But anyway, so I was like really interested to hear what this was going to sound like. I was a big fan of the early King Kobra stuff. Quiet Riot was actually the first band that I ever saw live, so having Carlos in this, that's kind of cool. And the original guitar player, Mike Suida, or Mike as we knew him around this area, because he's actually from around the area where I grew up, so I was into King Kobra, like that band, quite a bit. There's that style of music that everybody was listening to, the hair metal type stuff. They never made it like super huge, but I always liked them. So anyway, I was really interested to hear what this was going to sound like. I know after that original band broke up, they came out with an album that was just absolutely horrible in my mind. I can't believe how bad that album was. And since having Paul in the band, it kind of styles changed a little bit, and went a little bit bluesier, I guess. But so anyway, now they got two different guitar players in the band on this one, and it's a couple people that I've always enjoyed. So I was interested in hearing what this was going to sound like. So plugged it in, started listening, and the very first song kicks in with slide guitar, which I thought was cool. Although the song itself didn't do anything for me at all. So I was like, all right, well, there's a whole bunch more songs. Turn up the music. So we're on music. Music is a piece of art. It's the first one. Turn up the music. Second one. That didn't get much better. I was like, oh man, guys, come on, give me something here. So kicks into song number 3, Secrets and Lies, a little bit heavier riff, and you get to hear Paul start singing like you're used to hearing him sing. Now, I know for me personally, like when Paul came out in Rough Cut, me and all of my friends were listening to that first album all the time. We loved that first album. His vocals were different than everybody else's, a little bit rougher, and it just fit the music great. He joined the Quiet Riot after that, and I didn't think his voice really fit the Quiet Riot sound that well. I didn't care for that album much. It just didn't do much for me. And since then, it's been kind of like hit or miss. And Paul is an amazing singer. I think the reason he isn't huge is not because of lack of talent. I think it's because he just doesn't seem to get the best songs. I think he's just, sometimes, you can have all the talent in the world, but if the song isn't all that great, people aren't going to listen. I just think he's always been searching for a better song. Just my opinion. So on here, the songs do get better from this point. I don't know what it is with those first two. They just didn't sit with me at all. But from this point on, all pretty cool. Heavier, more rock-driven, suited his voice a little bit better. And it's also right about now I started realizing how horrible the production of this album is. I hate saying that because it just gets to the point where it's distracting how bad the production is. The drums on this are it's hard to explain what they sound like, but it sounds like it's really extremely compressed and gated at the same time. But you can hear them echoing out and then cutting off, and they're mixed so high in the mix that that's all you can hear. And the bass is really loud, and Johnny Rod's killers, those are like really up front. Paul's vocals are up front, but the guitars are just, I don't know, they're just buried. As far as rhythm guitar goes, I can tell you which one was playing what. Solos, it's most of the time you can tell just by the style and sound of the guitar who's playing what. It really became apparent in Love Hurts. They're not sure why they chose to do this song, because their version of it, Paul sings it great, but the arrangement of it was weird. Carmen's drumming it just like, I didn't fit for me, and I found that happening a lot. His fills and his stuff just was not fitting the songs well, which is strange because Carmen's a great drummer. I actually got to see him and his brother do a thing called Drum Wars or Drum Battles. I can't remember what it was now, but a few years ago. And we got front row, got to meet him, talk to him, and everything. It was really cool. And you got to see them like play, like right there, like 3D, right in front of you. And it was cool watching these guys play. And he's an amazing drummer. He's got great feel. So when I heard this version of Love Hurts, I was like, well, what are you doing? It was just so distracting. Paul sings it great, but why they chose to do it and what he was doing on that, I don't know. It just didn't make sense to me. And the next song that I really thought was really good was a song called Darkness. And the solos that Carlos and Rowan there trade back and forth are really cool in that song. And then the next song, We Are Warriors, they do the same thing, which is really, really good. Then there's a couple of bonus songs after. There's another song called Drive Like Lightning, but there's the bonus songs Trouble, which is one of the strongest songs on the album, and I really enjoyed that one. But the funny part is the next bonus called Side by Side is probably the most original sounding. What I mean by that is it sounds more like the original King Kobra than anything else on this album or anything else I've heard in years. The style of that song is like in the vein of the early King Kobra stuff. That was like, why is this the last song? It's a bonus song. And Paul sings great on it. So I don't know. It seems strange that was like the bonus. That should have been like the lead off single or whatever on this song. That it was the strongest song of the whole bunch. So at least it ended on a high note. If in my opinion, they had just gotten rid of the first two songs and just had this 10 tracks instead of these extra two on the bonus CD here, and had that the actual album, it probably would have been a much better album in my opinion. And yeah, just better production. I don't know what it is, man. Some of these bands do this. Even the Journey had issues with production. It's like, I don't know what they're doing, because you got guys, some of my friends who work in studios put out stuff that sounds 10 times better than this stuff, and it's just I don't know what they're doing that they can't find somebody that can mix it or just capture it better. I mean, it's like nobody in the bunch of people listening to this stuff going, hey you guys, I don't know, you might want to rethink that mix or rethink that choice of production or something. Like, what's going on? I don't know. Doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, that's my 2 cents. As I always say, this is just my opinion, so feel free to share yours. If you think I'm way off base, let me know. If not, and you agree, let me know. Either way, it's always just fun to talk about this stuff. I was just hoping this was going to be a little bit better. I mean, I'll probably still listen to it again, but skipping a few songs. But yeah, and I forgot to mention, got this off of Bandcamp. So as always, I like to promote Bandcamp. I think that's benefits direct to the artists themselves, so that's kind of why I promote that one. But anyway, like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and we'll talk to you in the next one. See ya.